Hello students, welcome to the lecture. So students, as you can see here that basically in this lecture we are going to start with the research centers of India. Okay, this is going to be a lecture in this particular topic. Talking about this, let me tell you one thing in a straightforward manner that basically the research center, their location, their work, their full form and short form, it is actually a static part to be covered in the general knowledge section of various competitive exams. And this static part is normally, we could say, it's little bit, you can say typical to learn about them because they are not theoretical, so that we could learn them as a story and we can do a written practice and all. These are in a short form and these are more static. That's why we require to understand them properly. We require to learn their names properly. We require to recall their locations properly in order we could keep them longer in our mind so that whenever we have to face our examination, we could mark the correct answer. All right. So in this lecture, we are going to cover this static part. So kindly be attentive during this lecture so that you would be aware about the location, name, short form, full form, and all the necessary things that you are required to know about some particular research centers. Before starting this, there is the index that we have here. All right. Like in this category of research centers in India, first we will talk about the general research centers of India. It means that there will be no some kind of specific category and all. We will talk about in the general manner. After this, we will have a discussion over the specific part, nuclear and space research centers in India. We will talk about the specific of them. Okay. And then the third. In third, we will talk about the health and medicinal research centers in India. Like whichsoever are the health and medicinal research centers in India. And at last, of course, we will have the discussion over the summary of entire research centers that we will cover in this particular lecture. So this is going to be our path of action that we are going to take in this lecture. Starting with the research centers of India, general manner, then nuclear and space research centers in India, then health and medicinal research centers in India, fourth summary part of this. Okay. But as always, before begin this lecture, there is a small disclaimer that we are required to understand. And the disclaimer is like, the images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this tag and you have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Now let's begin with the topic, research centers. The first that we have is the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, which is known as IARI. Okay, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IARI. Okay, that is more commonly known as the Pusa Institute, which is situated in Delhi. Remember, this Pusa Institute is actually established during the Dalhousie's time. Okay, Lord Dalhousie, who was the Governor General of India. During his time, the Pusa Institute got established in Delhi. Okay, so this institute actually belongs to the British era. And later on, this Pusa Institute has been granted with a new name of Indian Agriculture Research Institute. But now also it is known as the Pusa Institute as also is. After this, we have the National Rice Research Institute and RRI. National Rice Research Institute. This is situated near Bidyadarpur village on the Cuttack in Odisha. Okay, like we know, the Odisha state, which is well known for its coal and mine areas and also for the cultivation and agriculture of rice. Okay, so because of the huge rice production, and we know the rice is also the one of the staple crops in India. So that's why this state having the National Rice Research Institute. Then we have Sugarcane Breeding Institute. It is a central institute or central research institute that is actually lies in Coimbatore. Coimbatore is a city in Tamil Nadu state of India. And basically this Sugarcane Breeding Institute was actually got established in 1912, which means this institute also belonged to the British era. Okay. Then we have the Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research. Now here is a little bit twist. Okay. Here is a little bit twist. What is a twist? For sugarcane, we have come across the two institutes. The first institute is actually dealing with the breeding. Okay. Like the types of sugarcane crops we could make by GMO, genetically modification operations, or any other kind of things. And this institute, which is dedicatedly for generating a new breeds for sugarcane, it is actually a central research institute which lies in Coimbatore, India. Okay, and that got established in 1912. Another one, that is the Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, IISR. Okay, Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, IISR. This is actually a general research institute for sugarcane crop, and that institute actually located in Lucknow, okay, which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh, and that was established in 1952 post-independence. One is pre-independence, one is post-independence. So keep this difference in your mind. That's why I told you in the starting, like whatever we will cover in this particular lecture, all the things will have a moreover static things. Okay, like there is no theory that you could see here. This is static. Sugarcane Breeding Institute dedicated to the breeding. Central Research Institute at Coimbatore, 1912 establishment. Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, General Institute, Lucknow, established in 1952. No theory, only the just to point that to be covered. Then we have a Central Potato Research Institute. It is actually an institution of ICAR, which is the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, located in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. So basically, we could say the potato is also the part of agriculture, right? So this is actually a subsidiary institute of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR. And this particular institute is located at Shimla, which is the capital of Himachal Pradesh. Thereafter, we have the Central Tobacco Research Institute. The Central Tobacco Research Institute that was actually established in 1947. Okay, in the same year that we got independence at Rajahmundry under the aegis of ICTC Madras. Okay, that got actually established under the ICTC Madras. Okay, Central Tobacco Research Institute. Then we have the Forest Research Institute, which is also known as FRI. This is an institute of Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. Okay, Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, and it is actually located at Dehradun in Uttarakhand. Dehradun is the capital of Uttarakhand, so it is lies here. And it is also the sub-institute of Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. Indian Lake Research Institute. This is actually an autonomous institute, which means that the institute is free to take its own decision to work accordingly, but that is actually got established under the umbrella of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Okay. This is the main parent body of that particular institute, and it is established by the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. Okay. Like Ministry of Agriculture is the legislative branch and the executive branch of the government look after the agriculture sector in India. So that's why it operates in coordination with the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And as per this operation and coordination, the Indian LAC Institute got established under this umbrella of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. But yes, the autonomous institute got granted, which means the autonomy of that particular institute had been maintained. This institute is actually located at Namkum, which is in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Okay. Then we have the National Dairy Research Institute. The National Dairy Research Institute is actually located at Karnal in Haryana. Okay. The institute was accorded the status of deemed university in the year of 1989. So we could say that basically in the initial years when the National Dairy Research Institute got established, that was the research institute. Later on, those who want to be the agro scientists or the you can say dairy scientists and all, they got admission to there because this institute had been granted with the status of deemed university in the year of 1989, and that lies in Karnal, Haryana. Here is the one thing that I would like to tell you. Basically, if we talk about the dairy production and the dairy products, India is the world's largest milk producer and the dairy food products. Okay, the Indian particular state that is high in this, it is the Rajasthan. Okay, Rajasthan is the Indian state that is having the highest milk producer and the milk products production in the country. Okay, and after the White Revolution that was happened in the 1970s, the India actually got to know about the potential that we have in field of milk production and all. So that's why the National Dairy Research Institute got established to help us further with this. Okay. Then we have the Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, CSIR. It is located at Dhanbad in Jharkhand. Now, here is the one thing that I would like to make sure. In the beginning of this, if you remember, I had told you one thing in a straightforward manner. What was that? That basically the full form, the short forms, even the location and particular work establishment years, all these are basically the important parts to be covered in the research centers, right? That is what I told you. And if you look at here, what you are getting, CSIR. Okay. And by the short form, when you go to the full form, you will notice the full form is Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, right? Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, CSIR. Okay. In actual, basically the CSIR stands out for Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Okay. Like you can say the full form might be same for the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research and the Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, CSIR. But the full form will be different. One CSIR stands out for the Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, which is at Dhanbad in Jharkhand. Okay. Another CSIR, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, that actually located in New Delhi. Okay. And the fields are different. One is engaged in mining and fuel research. Another one is engaged in scientific and industrial research. So keep this thing in your mind. Then we have the Central Leather Research Institute. It stands out at CLRI. It is the world's largest leather research institute in terms of research paper and patents. This institute located in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and got founded on 24th April 1948. So basically, we know the textile has been the important part of India's trade and all. Okay. So that's why in order to further develop this, we established the leather research institutes also, like the Central Leather Research Institute. And whatsoever research had been conducted there, whatsoever the papers and patents got published from there, all of these things, when we compile them together, we will get to know that the volume of these papers and patents makes it the largest leather research institute in terms of research. By location, if we go by the location, that is actually located in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, and was found in 24th April 1948. Okay. Then we have another one, the Central Drug Research Institute. Okay. CDRI. Central Drug Research Institute. It is a multidisciplinary research laboratory in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So basically, if we talk about drug, okay, then in India, basically India is having the world's largest pharmacy industry or pharmaceutical industry, we could like to say. That's why India is often called as the pharmacy of the world at global stage. Okay. So because we having that large industry, that's why we also established the Drug Research Institute. Okay. In order to further develop the achievements in this. And because we know the drug could not be the same. Okay. So we could say it is the multidisciplinary research. Okay. It is the multidisciplinary research laboratory, which having more and more research things and all. Then we have Raman Research Institute. If we talk about the Raman Research Institute, this is an institute of scientific research located in Bangalore. Okay. Like who was Raman? Dr. C.V. Raman. Okay. He gave the famous theory in the physics world that is known as the Raman effect. Okay. After this, we have the CSIU, the Central Scientific Instruments Organization. It is actually a national laboratory that is dedicated to conduct the research as per the research design, as per the design developed the scientific and industrial instruments. Because we know in order to create the robust infrastructure to enhance the manufacturing and the GDP and all of the country, we required state of the art scientific and industrial instruments. And in order to fulfill all these things, basically we required to develop them, generate them within our country so that we should not dependent on the outer countries for their supplies. In order to achieve with this, basically we have our own central scientific instrument organization. Okay. So that we could develop these things within our country only. And that is actually located in Chandigarh, which is the Union Territory. And it is also the capital of two Indian states, the Punjab and the Haryana. Then we have the National Metallurgical Laboratory, NML. Okay. Like this, NML is actually an Indian research center that is the center that functions under the aegis of CSIR, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Okay. Like the same as I had told you, that's one CSIR is another one, another CSIR is another one. And if we go back and we go to the deep, then we could say the National Metallurgical Laboratory is actually located at Jamshedpur and which is having its own reason. Like Jamshedpur is a part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau and that is actually the northeastern extension of the Deccan Plateau region. This field is actually well known for its metal resources. So that's why establishing that particular institute nearby that place is actually gives us the edge over the production line. Then we have the Central Salt and Marine Chemical Research Institute. It is actually the constituent laboratory of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR again. And that institute was inaugurated by the then Prime Minister of India, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, on 10 April 1954 at Bhavnagar in Gujarat. Then we have the ASI, which is famously known as the Archaeological Survey of India. it was actually established during the time of Britishers in 1905. And if we go by the specific name was Lord Curzon, who was the Viceroy of India of that time. And remember, the Archaeological Survey of India is actually the advanced form of ASP. What was ASP? The ASP stands out for the Asiatic Society of Bengal. That got established by the William Jones, okay, during the 1784. And later on in the 1905, that got further modified into the new organization that was the Archaeological Survey of India. This comes under the Ministry of Culture. It is the premier organization for archaeological research and protection of the cultural heritages of the nation. The Archaeological Survey of India is actually located in New Delhi. After this, we have the Center Research Institute for Jute and Allied Fibers. It is a research institute on jute and allied fiber crops, and that is actually comes under the ICAR, the Indian Council of Agriculture Research under the Government of India. Institute located at Barakpur in West Bengal, and this region is well known for its high production in jute and allied fibers. So that's why again we have the another institute near the production line. Then the National Aerospace Laboratories (NAL) that got established by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR) in Delhi in 1959. Its headquarters were later moved to the Bangalore in 1960. So remember when it got established, actually it got established in Delhi. Later on, it got moved to the Bangalore 1960. Then we have the National Institute of Oceanography. It is an autonomous research organization in India, and that is actually entitled to undertake the scientific research and the studies of some special oceanographic features of the North Indian Ocean. This institute is located at Panaji in Goa. Then we have the National Geophysical Research Institute. It is a geoscientific research organization established in 1961 under the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR). This is the largest research and development organization within the country, and it is actually located in Hyderabad, which is the capital of Telangana. Then we have the Indian Institute of Petroleum, which is in short known as IIP. It is one of the constituent laboratories of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR). CSIR is the parent organization, and this particular is the subsidiary of this. It is dedicated to the research and development in the hydrocarbon sector. This institute is located at Dehradun in Uttarakhand. Then we have Central Road Research Institute, constituent laboratory of Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, located in New Delhi. Then we have the Central Building Research Institute, constituent establishment of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. It has been vested with the responsibility of generating, cultivating, promoting building science and technology in the service of the country, located at Roorkee in Uttarakhand. Then we have Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, public research institution located in Mumbai, dedicated to basic research in mathematics and sciences. Then we have the High Altitude Research Laboratory established at Gulmarg, Kashmir in 1963 on the initiative of Dr. H.J. Bhabha to provide the scientific community of the country a self-contained high altitude, high latitude laboratory for scientific research. The National Botanical Research Institute set up under the aegis of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research in Lucknow, engaged in the field of taxonomy and modern biology. Central Food Technology Research Institute, set up under the aegis of the Council of Industrial Research, opened on 21st October 1950 at Mysore in Karnataka. Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, under Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, focuses on the areas of glass, ceramics, mica, refractories, etc., located in Kolkata. Then we have the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute created and funded by the Government of India, got established in Nagpur in 1958 with a focus on water supply, sewage disposal, communicable diseases, and to some extent on industrial pollution as well. Then we have the Central Electrochemical Research Institute, Karaikudi, Tamil Nadu, Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, Kolkata, Indian Institute of Toxicology Research, dedicated to provide health safeguards to industrial and agriculture workers through their rich, knowledgeable base created painstakingly over the year. ITRC, located in Lucknow. Then the Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Public Engineering Research and Development Institute at Durgapur in West Bengal. Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Indian Biotech Research Establishment located in Hyderabad, operates under the aegis of CSIR. Now, if we talk about the nuclear and space research centers, first is the Uranium Corporation of India Limited, public sector enterprise of Department of Atomic Energy, established for mining and processing of uranium ore in India, UCIL, located in Jharkhand. The Atomic Energy Commission is the governing body of the Department of Atomic Energy, Government of India, located in Mumbai. Electronics Corporation of India Limited, Government of India enterprise under the Department of Atomic Energy, established on 11 May 1967 by A.S. Rao at Hyderabad. The Bhava Atomic Research Center, India Premium Nuclear Research Facility, headquartered at Trombay in Mumbai. The Radio Astronomy Center, part of National Center for Radio Astrophysics of the well-known Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, funded by the Government of India through the Department of Atomic Energy, near the Udamangalam, Ooty. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Public Research Institute in Mumbai. Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics, Institution of Basic Research and Training in Physical and Biophysical Sciences at Bidhan Nagar, Kolkata. Nuclear Fuel Complex, Industrial Unit of Department of Atomic Energy, established in Hyderabad to supply nuclear fuel and reactor core components for India's entire nuclear program. Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, major space research centers of the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, focusing on rocket and space vehicles for India's satellite program, located at Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. The Indian Space Research Organization, space agency of the Government of India, headquartered in the city of Bangalore. Then the Space Application Center, Institution of Research in Ahmedabad, under the aegis of Indian Space Research Organization. The Thumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Stations, TRLS. It is the India spaceport operated by the Indian Space Research Organization, located at Thumba, which is in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Now the last, health and medical research centers. First, National Institute of Malaria Research, one of the research institution of Indian Council of Medical Research under the Department of Ministry and Health, Government of India, located in New Delhi. Then, National Tuberculosis Institute was established at Bangalore by the Government of India. Indian Cancer Research Institute, established in Parel, Mumbai, under the purview of Ministry of Health, Government of India. Indian Veterinary Research Institute, located at Izzat Nagar, Bareilly in Uttar Pradesh. Vallabhbhai Patel Chess Institute is a postgraduate medical institute located in New Delhi. Hafkin Institute is one of the oldest biomedical research institutes in country, got established in Mumbai. National Institute of Nutrition, it is an Indian Public Health Biotech Translation Research Center located in Hyderabad. All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health, it is an Indian institution for research and training in public health and allied sectors in Kolkata. So here we have finished the topic. Now it's a part for summary. In Agriculture Research Institute, we have seen the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, National Rice Research Institute, Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Central Potato Research Institute, Central Tobacco Research Institute, Indian Lac Research Institute. For Dairy and Forestry, we have seen National Dairy Research Institute, Forest Research Institute. Scientific and Industrial Research, we have seen the Central Scientific Instruments Organization, National Metallurgical Laboratory, Central Salt and Marine Chemical Research Institute, Central Drug Research Institute. For Geoscience and Oceanography, we have seen the National Geophysical Research Institute, National Institute of Oceanography. Chemical and Food Technology, we have seen Indian Institute of Petroleum, Central Food Technological Research Institute. For Environment and Toxicology, we have seen National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Indian Institute of Technology Research. Engineering and Material Research, we have seen Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute. For Fundamental Research, we have seen Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Raman Institute of Research and High Altitude Research Laboratory. Then in Nuclear and Space Research Centers, we have seen Uranium Corporation of India Limited, then Department of Atomic Energy, Electronics Corporation of India Limited, Bhava Atomic Research Centers, Radio Astronomy Center, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics, Nuclear Fuel Complex, Indian Space Research Organization, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Space Application Center, Thumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. Okay. And in Health and Medical Research Institute, we have seen National Institute of Malaria Research, National Tuberculosis Institute, Indian Cancer Research Center. Indian Veterinary Research Center, Vallabhbhai Patel Chess Institute, Hafkin Institute, National Institute of Nutrition, All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health. So here we have finished the topic. Kindly revise all the facts and figures that we have discussed in this lecture and be ready for the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.